Some of the hottest music in the world today is coming from a place where music has been dead to the rest of us for 40 years. And leading the way is a band with several hit records and now a hit movie that's up for an Academy Award. What makes this band different is its members, superstars who are probably unlike any you've seen before. They call themselves the Buena Vista Social Club, and their home is Cuba. At a time when he's fighting the U.S. over custody of a 6-year-old, when his baseball players are defecting, and he still can't sell his cigars in America, Fidel Castro is doing anything he can to keep one of the most valuable natural resources made in Cuba, its musicians. And as a result, Cuba has produced some unlikely international superstars. The crooners featured in this 1998 British documentary, all in their 70s, 80s, and even 90s, are credited with putting Cuban music back on the map after almost 40 years of silence. Theirs is the music of the 40s and 50s, the decades when everyone was daydreaming about nights in Havana. In 1996, these aging stars, known today as the Buena Vista Social Club, were brought out of retirement and into the recording studio with the help of a Cuban musician named Juan de Marcos Gonzalez.
I had the idea in my mind for more than 10 years to make an album trying to recover or bring in the sound of the great Cuban bands of the 50s.
DeMarcos is 45 years old, born after the heyday of Cuba's music. His father, a musician from that era, told him about the difficulties of being in the business. How much was your father earning as a musician?
Sometimes 10 cents, playing the whole night until the last drunk left the party. Sometimes 6, 7, 8 hours. It was impossible to live as a professional musician in Cuba during the 40s and 50s. You had to have a couple of jobs to work as a musician in the nights and perhaps as a driver or somewhere during the mornings and afternoons.
DeMarcos became an engineer, but remained convinced there was something special about the old-style Cuban sound and the forgotten stars who sang it. Where were those old guys when you went looking for them? What were they doing?
Well, some of them were really poor, were really living in bad conditions.
73-year-old Ibrahim Ferrer was shining shoes for a living. 82-year-old Ruben Gonzalez was suffering from arthritis and Ruben Gonzalez had no piano.
No piano. So he has a problem, I don't know what's the name in English, but it's a sort of problems when you get a certain age that you start forgetting things and things like that. But he never forgets to play the piano.
With the help of a British record company, DeMarcos produced 2 albums. The first, the Afro-Cuban All-Stars, was a success. The second, Buena Vista Social Club, broke the bank. It won a Grammy Award in 1998, and with more than 3 million copies sold, has become the highest-selling Cuban album of all time. Are these rich guys now?
Well, according to the Cuban level, they are rich. Close to $500,000. And for Cuba, where you don't have to pay for almost anything, it's a lot of money. So they're rich. That's good. But they don't realize that they're rich. We have the richest music, I think, popular dance music in the world. So we have to fight for our culture. We have to preserve what we have. What
they have is a small mecca of music. This tiny island has had an unparalleled musical heritage. Some of the most enduring rhythms in modern music were born here. Think of the rumba, the mambo, the cha-cha-cha. And don't forget America's favorite Cuban, Ricky Ricardo.
You have to remember that before 1959, we were the best sellers in the world of tropical music. And we had people, very famous people, even in America. Our music was used for the Hollywood films. And we were the only country, very small island with only 6 million people, with more than 35 different genres of popular music.
If you think you're hearing an African beat, you're right. The slaves brought to Cuba, unlike elsewhere, were allowed to keep their drums. And the result? Well, just listen. So for now, at least, Cuba has figured out how to keep the soul of the island singing. You guys gonna be millionaires?
I would like to be a millionaire. I would like to have a house in Manhattan, 52nd floor of, I don't know, a big tower, just to go for holidays, but living downtown in Havana.